Best Cast
Network.
Now fix to start kicking ass, just like it said at the beginning of the program.
Man of the hour, tower of power, too sweet to be sour.
Sending your ass on the jabroni jet to the other side of the territory, brother.
The Alabama Hammer.
Nightmares on the best part of my day. The goods from the wood.
Hot damn.
Welcome to the Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley.
Pat Riley.
Mr. Goodnight, man of the hour, tower of power, mouthful of cookies, and too sweet to be sour.
And today we are joined in a discussion of all things metal with our friend
John Tole, also with a mouthful of cookies.
Fuck yeah!
When in Rome.
That's right. Eat cookies, motherfucker.
Yeah, why not?
The important distinction that we have to make is that Goodnight's dipping his cookie into his sweet iced tea.
They deteriorate faster that way, and so there's not as much sound of chewing that goes into the microphone. Now, I think these things out, you understand?
He's doing it for you, the listening audience. No,
I just reminds me of somebody else like this. They hung him on a cross, you understand? And he did even less than I did.
yeah, I made some cookies yesterday. I went to the Walgreens on November 1st, as I always do, and buy entirely too much fucking candy.
Oh, that's actually a thing you do?
Dude, it's 50% off. Yeah, of course. You buy the big ass bag of I got Kit Kats and Jolly Ranchers. That's all that's left. But help yourself to them.
You went in there with a 10, a 20, a debit card, EBT. What are you doing on this? What's this deal?
Just a good old $10 bill.
Okay, that was it, and all you can haul for $10.
Yeah, which was about between 7 to 8 pounds of candy. It was a shitload.
Of course it is.
It's a horrible amount, but a couple.
And all you have left is 17 of the worst looking suckers and about to be 0 Kit Kats as I look into this bowl.
I've had 2 of them damn suckers because we ain't got no cigarettes.
Maybe that's the new way to quit.
I worked for Tele Savalas, but he had better taste than things, and he said, oh, look at that, that's like Jolly Rancher, but it's caramel apple, and one of them is all right, but 2 of them gets to just be too much.
There were a couple of what I would consider noble experiments in candy this trip. There was 50% off candy corn, which is terrible, but hear me out.
Wait, wait a minute. That's a blasphemy.
What, you like candy?
Yes.
Oh.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, my thing with candy corn, 1 handful a year is about what I need.
Yeah, that's fine. You know, I mixed it up in eggnog.
Okay.
Stir it up, a little ice. Now you're blending the holidays. You got 3 months of candy corns.
Okay.
You don't do that?
No,
And I'm saying Telly Savalas would not go to town on this lolly right now. They'd be like, baby, this is just like a pimp. I'm not gonna have it.
If you open this thing,
that was a good Telly.
If you open it up,
Specifically, Telly didn't like flat, round lollipops. He liked them ones that were shaped like Tootsie Pops. That's like little beehives and shit. That's the kind he liked.
if you open it up, it has the worst color scheme ever. It's fluorescent green and San Diego Padres brown. So
as Pat pointed out, it's exactly the same color as that toy van that the Ninja Turtles used to drive around in.
This year they have Starburst started putting out Starburst candy corns.
Oh yeah,
which is a goddamn revolution.
Yeah,
sure,
gentlemen. it's great. So I had the Starburst candy corns. Those were like $1 for a huge fucking bag. They had caramel apple Milky Ways. Do you know Travis Clark?
Yes.
Okay, so I just assume all bearded men know each other. Yeah. Travis was standing there next to me in the Walgreens. We were at the Liquid Zoo open mic. Saw the Walgreens across the street there, and we were like, yeah, we're gonna go get some cheap ass candy. Travis Clark is standing there telling me, no, dude, those caramel apple Milky Ways are terrible. They're like the worst candy I've ever had. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna buy them because you feel so strongly one direction. Who's to say that I wouldn't feel strongly in the other way? He was totally right, and I ended up just throwing them at Ryan Talmo.
Did he end the sentence about how bad they were with, and they're not even vegan?
Yeah, we ended up at the open mic, and Ryan Talmo was on stage. So I just, there was 6 people in there. So who gives a shit?
Physically heckling people with physical objects.
Well, and then I got on stage.
Rivers always has at least one really dick move that he reveals in every episode.
I got on stage though because I was like trying to crowdsource an opinion on the caramel apple Milky Way, so I just sort of
Come on, who loves suckers?
I did.
Come on.
I did a Ron Funches and just started throwing candy into the crowd, and it really people do love that shit.
Absolutely.
It's a great gimmick. Had some Reese's. Reese's are the best, obviously, but these Reese's were just sitting there begging to be made into cookies. So
Okay.
So that was the
And that's what we had.
That's what we're eating right now.
that was those
Yeah.
cookies. Yeah, that's how we opened the show.
Thank you, Rivers.
Yeah, I knew you guys would be coming over. I was gonna sit there and eat every one of those Reese's by myself, so I figured this would be the way to go.
I don't hate it.
You know what the opposite of your very thrifty baking is? Metal. Which is the topic of today.
So, John, are you from Austin?
No, I grew up in Northern California.
Oh, okay,
in
right
the
on.
Bay Area.
Oh shit.
At the Ground Zero Bay Area Thrash.
Yeah, hell yeah. How many times have you seen Metallica?
7?
How many times when they were good?
6. It was there was a long break. They did 2 nights in a row at the Cow Palace with Queensryche as direct support, and I want to say,
wow.
don't hate on Queensryche, even though they were singing Silent Lucidian, but closing with a ballad, totally a buzzkill and non-metal. If you want to get into it,
What year was this? What year was this?
this had to have been if it was And Justice tour. It had to be 88, 89. Yeah, I would have been either a senior in high school. I would have been a freshman in one of my various colleges. And then I did not see Metallica again until the first Orion Fest in Atlantic City 2 years ago.
So wait, they just had to make a festival to make them play Orion?
Had you seen him in the Cliff era?
Yeah.
Okay, so which one was the first one that you saw?
The first one was opening for Ozzy.
Oh, okay. What
Yeah.
year was that?
That would have been, 85? You know what? It's like, it's one of those things where there were so many shows coming through that part of the country where it's like you could go to an arena or a club and see just amazing bands, you know?
Wow.
It was like, how often do we get to live amongst our favorite music? I mean, that doesn't happen, you know?
Yeah, it's rare.
Unless you move to go do it, you know?
Yeah. I grew up in a college town in Alabama, and the problem with college towns is every time the music scene gets to a threshold where it's like, yeah, everything, there's a bunch of bands and everybody's doing cool shit, and then everybody graduates and gets married and fucking leaves.
Of course.
And the scene disappears, Auburn has the potential to be like Athens or Austin or, Madison or any of those great college towns, but for whatever reason, nobody stays there.
Is it that conservative? You think the people want to like leave, or do they go, well, I want to go someplace that
Yeah, I think it's a combination of that, and then also that, Athens is so close, Atlanta's so close. There's
Is there anything to do there? And then ways you can get a job once you know with school?
right. Yeah, it's a little, everything's sort of tied into the university. I don't know, man. There's just something that makes those scenes like that just something special.
I'm always interested at the person that does move to like a certain place and then just stops. Well, you're either pioneer or a settler.
Right.
I mean, that's the way I've always kind of looked at it. You know,
Yeah.
you should be moving around. I don't know. That's the way I look. I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
But did the Auburn music scene have an exodus? I don't think so, brother.
Yeah, we had fucking. You know what? We had and
Have John talk more.
we still have Humadivore, baby.
What is any of this shit? And you were talking about what?
We're
don't
talking
know.
about baking.
No, he was talking about what? Flotsam and Jetsam and shit like this?
Phenomenal band, I believe, from Arizona.
I have no idea what any of this shit is.
What was the hard rock that you grew up listening to?
Yeah.
The hard rock he listened to was Jerry Reed.
Oh, he had a version of Guitar Man that he did?
Come on, Amos.
Fucking live one?
Straight up, Jerry Reed can fucking shred, bro.
Yeah, Jerry Reed's a motherfucker, so y'all look out for Jerry Reed. And he was a fucking snowman, too.
So move on a little bit, good buddy, because the snowman is coming through.
What was the first metal artist that you got into?
I mean, being a Kiss fan at 5, that's somehow my folks thought it was all right that I could have a Kiss record. Like,
Yeah.
so they got me Rock and Roll Over in 76. Because the kid across the street had an older brother and he had Kiss records, and I guess I came home talking about it. And the next thing I knew, I had the poster on the wall and
Man,
vinyl.
hell yeah.
Which led to 8 tracks, which, it wasn't until I remember fifth grade, this kid brought AC/DC's Back in Black to school, and then the next year we were listening to Iron Maiden. It was that fast. But if it wasn't for somebody's older brothers, you would just be stuck listening to Mr. Rogers. Like they had to come into your world somehow. It's not like the internet now where everything's like right there.
Rogers did have good jazz on his show. I just want to point that out.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
It was just a trolley going back and forth agreeing with him.
He would play that opening thing that you'd hear at the beginning. That was played live every time.
Oh, what?
Yeah, every time
I have
over
some-
like 30 years.
How many times did you go through this museum to learn that fact?
No, I just watched the shows. You understand?
I have some
lived in the neighborhood of make believe for a couple of years. I was a pioneer, you might say.
My brother had those kind of records. He had like the Sesame Street records. So out of my room, you'd be hearing Motorhead, and then 6 feet away, a fireman's a person in your neighborhood.
8 tracks were like notoriously easy to tear up. How many times did you have to get Alive, Kiss Alive?
Oh, I own Kiss Alive on vinyl, 8-track, and then cassette. And I think I rebought it again because like Gene repackaged it with there's another fart in the studio that no one heard before. So give us your $9. I think I bought that version.
You know what was the obligatory 8-track that everybody who had 8-track had to have?
Led Zeppelin 4?
Nope, the concert for Bangladesh.
You know, if this was the 80s, there would be we would be having an absolute Let's Rock for Ebola. You know what I mean? Like there would be some master song.
Well,
coming
actually, well, it's interesting you say that, John, because as we speak, Sir Bob Geldof is creating and commissioning a benefit song for Ebola.
What's the chorus?
I don't know, but I hope Boy George and Phil Collins are on that one too.
I'm trying to think of what would be the because the biggest appeal of that is the guys who can't sing in a traditional sense.
Oh, right.
Up against people who can really fucking sing, like Bob Dylan singing the verse after Michael Jackson and shit like that.
Or even better and even more in line with the theme, stars. We are stars. We are magic in the night.
Yes.
The Dio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Hearing
was
aid.
great.
Yeah.
Hearing Aid.
That was
Remember
amazing.
I remember taking a VHS tape and recording Headbangers Ball and then having that video on there and just fast forwarding through it and never listening. That was one of those videos where, like that one and Trickster, always got fast forwarded through. You're just waiting. You're just waiting for Napalm Death to play, so you could go home
cries
bed.
for the children. I do. Although I have to give props to Ronnie James Dio for doing it because he did have the good humor of getting a Spinal Tap in the group of people singing. So they pan the whole bleacher,
Right.
And it's just like Vince Neil. Okay, there's Ted Nugent. There's the guy from Quiet Riot. Wait, is that David St. Hubbins? Oh my God, Spinal Tap is there. That was their Dan Aykroyd, but much better.
Right.
What was the charity?
It was for kids. So it was like
Just generally for kids.
No. It was part of that wave of songs that were for like famine.
Yeah.
And Ronnie James Dio and a couple other people were mad that the heavy metal community wasn't invited into We Are the World and things like that. So they decided to make their own. And the thing that's hilarious about it is that one thing that heavy metal people are, even if they're trying to be really charitable, they're also very egotistical. So there are 7 guitar solos,
Of course.
including one by Yngwie J. Malmsteen, which is like the worst guitar solo ever.
How dare you? Hero Rising Force.
It has the most Weedelos per 30 seconds I've ever heard. Just like just one big and there's 3 drum solos and everybody tries to outsing the next guy, but like it's just like it goes. All right, it starts out with Ronnie James Dio, and then it goes to Don Dokken, and then it goes to that dude from Y&T, and then it goes to
Jeff Meniketti.
Yeah. And then it goes to Rob Halford. So everybody's just trying to outwank the next one, and they're just trying to just we all saddle, we all lie, just like.
How nervous do you think those dudes were showing up going, I got to follow Dio?
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
Put me on after Rob Halford. Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
trying
one of
to-
the showcase shows where the headliner goes third.
How long was this song, by the way? It sounds like it's 1,000.
It's an epic, yeah. It really, you're right, it is endless because no one's ever heard the end of it.
No one ever made it to the end.
No, just the engineer.
Just we'll buy the record. Just stop.
The video is still playing on Headbangers Ball right now.
That's right.
Ricky Rackman is aging in the MTV
I
studios.
saw Ricky Rackman 2 years ago hiking.
What?
Yeah, up in Fryman Canyon.
Hitchhiking?
No, he was not
Like the Hulk?
hitchhiking. No, he was
He's walking down the road like the Hulk.
He was walking down. Yeah, right. Rip shorts.
Till a time when he is needed again.
If you all saw just walking down the street and saw Bill Hicks hiking or something,
Right.
like, Ricky Rackman's angry.
Wait, so what were you up in Runyon Canyon or something?
No, we were up at Fryman. And,
Oh, okay.
And so I was going up, and I just looked up, and I saw a dude with sleeves. So it's like, oh, okay, he must be some kind of a rock dude. As he's getting closer, I'm like, holy fuck, that's Ricky Rackman. That's crazy. And my inner metalhead self was like, oh, fuck it, be cool, which was dumb. And then as we're approaching each other, we just looked at each other and gave each other the fucking we're metal fucking head nod.
Yeah.
Which is just the look of acceptance we give each other. And it made sense because we were both unemployed in the middle of the day.
Did y'all talk at all or anything like that?
No, metalheads don't talk. Not to each other.
Yeah, that's how you treat your old VJs,
Yeah, I know. They
'Cause-
just jump them out and shit like that.
How many times do people walk up to Ed Lover and just do the Ed Lover dance?
That he's not paying for?
How disappointed are people at any of Dr. Dre's public appearances when they find out it's that Dr. Dre?
What was the other guy? Dr. Dre as well?
Yeah, there was Dr. Dre and Ed Lover, and then but the Dr. Dre of Yo MTV Raps fame was just like a big fat guy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know they had the same name.
There was a bunch. There was Mark Goodman and all that shit. Remember, and Julie Brown?
Yeah,
And
and then
who was the girl that I would have fucked the shit out of?
Kennedy.
No, not Kennedy. Would not have been Kennedy. Would not have been Kennedy.
Martha Quinn.
Yeah, Martha Quinn. That's it. I would have fucked the shit out of her. If you're listening, honey, I'm still out there.
I'm Martha Quinn. Thank you ever so much. And right here, I'm going to take a quick break for some music news. Concert information right here for Foreigner. They are out on the road, still supporting Foreigner 4. And what an incredible, hardworking band this is. And the album, unbelievable. So successful for them.
MTV presents another exclusive world premiere video. Hey, you, watch this.
So your new metal doesn't count. Not
gosh,
real
no.
metal.
No, I saw that roll in. I was like, oh, this is not going to be good for anybody.
I gotta say, I always consider new metal, like, as far as music is concerned, country music ended somewhere around 1980. Because after that point, it could never unself-consciously be country music again. And I think that metal ended somewhere around 92, 93. Because after that point, it could never unself-consciously be heavy metal again. You understand what I mean?
So many genres broke off that there was still a tried and true metal thing that continued on as the more glamorous stuff petered out, I guess.
Is there a decent metal scene in Texas?
Pantera, bro.
I mean, I
There's a
know
lot
there's
of that.
Pantera.
I don't know. It's like every city's got its own thing. Austin, on Thursday nights, you could go have a set at the Velveeta Room and then be not 100 yards away on the same street as a bar you could walk in for free and see 4 metal bands.
Wow. Okay.
So that was always fun to go see that. But
Yeah.
it's the kind of thing where you live in a music town, you never see the music because why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's what is it? 19 people trying for every person that's actually doing something.
Yeah.
You know, like there's nothing sadder than like when you're walking 4 o'clock in the afternoon, some guy's doing an acoustic set
Oh yeah.
to himself. that he had to book. He had to have probably have an audition.
Yeah.
It's like doing comedy in L.A.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah,
very much so. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing I say about LA comedy is like the supply outweighs the demand.
Oh, yeah.
Exponentially. So it's just very difficult. I've never been to Austin. I've been to Nashville though, and I think in New Orleans, and those are very similar in that. Yeah, you walk by a bar at 4 PM and there's some guy in there just going.
And you can walk by the Comedy Store right now at 4:00 and see people doing an open mic outside.
Dude, by the way, I started. So the Comedy Store is right on Sunset Boulevard, in the middle of the Sunset Strip, and I'm a tour guide. So I have my tour van, and now
Hold on, everybody. We got to go heckle.
No, literally. I started doing that. I started
really?
pulling. Yeah, because you can pull up. I'll pull up right next to the Comedy Store. And, the Comedy Store, before it was the Comedy Store, it was a nightclub owned by the Mafia called Ciro's, which is why everybody says there's ghosts in there and shit. Cause,
they're in there.
Yeah, because Mickey Cohen probably curb stomped some fucking people in the back at some point. So you pull up and they now have the open mic going on the patio. Just opened up to Sunset Boulevard. So the last time I went by, I saw Brad Solnitzer on stage, and I had a group with me, and they were cool. So I rolled down the window and I just started yelling at him from the street. It made my day.
Bro.
That's great.
By the way, if anybody's keeping count, Rivers' second dick move.
That's not a dick move. That's funny.
So what was in Austin? What's the primary metal?
I don't know. I didn't pay much attention to it because I was so engrossed doing comedy. Even now I'm in LA, and it's like I'm not getting out. I don't know.
Going to the whiskey, going to the Roxy, and
I never
the
get
pay to play.
I never get to.
band.
I know that's the thing. I never get to that part of Sunset, anyways. And then when I go by, even like the other day, I went by and it was like Suffocation was headlining, which they were a great death metal band, like in the early and mid '90s, and they're still going. And I was like, oh, dude, Suffocation's in town, and I was like, I got to park. I got to go to an ATM. The show started an hour ago.
Yeah.
Then I was like, I'm good.
Damn.
So I think I've just gotten to the age where I'm aging myself out of actually. I don't know. I try to get into new stuff, but it's hard.
That parking is a motherfucker. It really is. I was gonna go to the Roxy and see Gene Ween doing his fucking solo shit, and then the show was only $20. I was like, I got $20.
$20.
And I was like, yeah, I just don't want to park over in West Hollywood, so I didn't go. Maybe if he plays the Echo, I'll go.
Okay.
Till then.
What's the best show you ever seen?
Best show I've ever seen.
Monsters of Rock 91, Sweet Porta Potties.
Right. Candlestick Park, bro. It's Van Halen, and even though Van Hagar was singing for it, which made it bullshit, except Alex Van Halen had 3 drum sets, and they spun around depending on what song was happening. Metallica was there. Black Album hadn't come out yet, so it was still good. Dokken ruled. Kingdom Come opened up. They were still posers, but we put up with it. Then the Scorpions, face melters. That was...
George Lynch was working out. He was pretty buff.
Yeah, he was that. Not as big as Kane Roberts. You ever seen that dude? He's huge. He's Alice Cooper's guitar player. I'd like to try steroids. I don't know who they're talking to. That sounds like
Scorpions are rad. Rudolph Schenker shaved off his mustache. Wasn't as good.
I think Michael Schenker's actually better.
Are you more of a UFO guy or a Michael Schenker group
No,
guy?
I leave all the UFO worship to Eddie Trunk. He can have it all. I mean, he loves UFOs so much, no one else has to. I feel confident in saying that. No, but at the best show, like because I played in bands for like a decade.
What do you play?
I play guitar and bass.
Okay, right.
But
on.
in this specific show, there's a couple of shows that stick out in my mind, and they both happened in Virginia, and one was a show we played in an apartment.
Okay, those are always the best.
Yeah, which was. It was Virginia Beach. Okay. So they're like, this dude, the skinhead kid's like, come play in my apartment. We're like, fuck yeah, we're going to go play your apartment. Absolutely, we're going to go play your apartment. And it was set up where you had the major, like the first square, like where the family room is. That was probably 75 kids. I had one guitar player standing in the door of a bedroom. I had my bass player standing in a hallway. The drummer was right here. I'm standing in front of the drummer. My other guitar player's in the kitchen. And there's 75, and there's moshing, and there's crowd surfing in an apartment, and a window got broke. And it was like and in the middle of it, and it was like this is what hardcore's supposed to be.
So wait, you guys were all playing, you couldn't really see each other?
No, yeah, it was like we were basically. I couldn't move. I was just in front of the drummer, and it was like we knew our stuff enough where like we could kind of look at each other, and see each other's face if we moved around, you know. But and there was another one of my favorite. we were opening for Nothing Personal, and also in Virginia Beach, and the singer. I don't know what happened. The bass player of another band liked to play with shit. Like that was his thing. Like he wasn't bothered by it. So any chance he could get to fuck people like and screw with people's minds, he would do it.
Yeah.
And during the show, he went into the bathroom and pulled out somebody's turd and then threw it in the middle of the dance floor. And so now the room smelled like shit, and everyone like froze because it's like, well, that shit's on the floor, and it could all be on all of us if something happens, you know. So it was like freaked out, and the whole place smelled. And the singer from Nothing Personal said, "Stop, let's talk about this." And he pulled open a dozen donuts, and he made a circle of a dozen donuts around the shit. And he goes, if no one gets inside this donuts, we're going to be fine. You just have to be cognizant of where you are in the mosh pit. Meanwhile, earlier, people have been moshing with like a fucking miniature trampoline, hitting each other with exercise equipment. And so he sets up this donut thing and he backs up. They start the next song and Pete Rose slides face first through the donuts and the shit. And then he just starts running around hugging people in the crowd. And someone barred the exit. No one could leave. It's probably one of the best shows I've ever been part of.
Oh my God.
So did anybody eat the donuts?
They were too squished.
What's the worst metal band of all time?
And we're
gonna have to disqualify new metal. I mean, because we've pointed out
that would handle most of them.
We pointed out that was kind of like not part of the metal group, you know. So you can't pull out Cold or Dope or Cold Chamber or anything like that.
Like I'm always fascinated by the local band that has no draw.
Yeah.
The only person there is the guitar player's girlfriend. He has 5 guitars on stage.
Yeah.
And a wireless system.
Oh, yeah.
He's walking all over the venue. He's
Yeah.
also not the singer, but he's introducing all the songs, and you know what I mean. So like the singer's just there.
Oh, I've seen that
You
guy.
know?
There's a band like that in Birmingham. I won't say the name, but it's a 2-piece like a hard rock band where the guitar player has about 40 pedals.
Nice.
And is terrible. And the show that we saw, his mother and father were standing in the front row watching because they'd obviously paid for the pedals.
Oh, of course.
And they're like sitting there watching. And meanwhile, the drummer is fucking amazing. Like, you know, like when you watch that thing where like, oh, that guy should be in a better band.
Yes, totally.
The drummer was fucking incredible, but the guitar player was horrible, and we just had to sit there and listen to him just fucking hit different pedals and loop, you know, do all this bullshit.
I love that guy. He's always like kind of trolly looking, and he like wears like a shirt that looks like it's made out of a movie theater curtain. Shorts, trying to be metal in shorts on stage, and his name's probably like Kevin or Ben or something like that.
He has all homemade backstage passes he's made for his own show, and that's just covering over his Guitar Center employee.
Yeah,
badge.
exactly. He works at the guitar store.
Of course he does. He absolutely works there. That shirt is his work shirt. He has little hot sauces on it to let you know he's cool. He's down with the rock.
That's my answer to worst metal band. Whoever that fucking guy is that just sits there all day just at the fucking Guitar Center.
I don't like
whatever band he's in. That's my least favorite.
Like whenever they play that shit, they sound like they're playing the fight music from Power Rangers. Remember that?
Yeah.
The thing with having a bunch of pedals when you play, it's like then you're focused on the pedal. Like, and I never liked the guy who times the stomping of the pedal with like a hair flip, so it turns into one thing. Like he's really changing what's going on as he's hitting this note. Like, I don't need that. Calm down with yourself.
My vote for worst metal band of all time is Nitro. It was Jim Gillette on vocals, Michelangelo Badio on guitar, and then two dudes.
Just two other guys.
Are we supposed to know who the first two were?
Well, the first guy, Jim Gillette, is famous for
Razors or some shit?
No, he says that he has
Owns the Patriots?
he says he has like a 6-octave voice, and has this this video.
I can complain at any pitch.
Yeah, he has this video of him hitting his full range, and it goes to him, and he's wearing these tight acid wash jeans. They're totally stuffed, and he just goes.
Does he hold the pose like the end of an 80s
Yeah,
sitcom?
exactly.
I don't.
When are you going to say, let's get ready to rumble?
That's not that insane.
First of all, I'm jealous because the guy looks good for his age. All right.
Objectively, that's not that insane. I mean, I feel like with a vocal coach, I could get there in like 2 months.
You know why I love that? I just went to
He's by the way, he's in mixed martial arts now.
Is he? Yeah, he's beating ass.
He's he's in pretty good shape.
That's phenomenal. Well, I went and picked up some headshots, and the guy who gave them to me, like, those dudes still exist.
Yeah.
Like, those guys, they're still around now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that guy who gave me my stuff looked like that dude.
Oh no, if you go to the Rainbow, you'll see him.
Yeah. So, yeah, they look... And the guitar... Well, hold on a second. The guitarist, by the way, is known for playing a 4-necked guitar on stage. So it's like, if you go into later in the video, this 4-neck guitar, it's not like 4 necks, one on top of another, like the Jimmy Page guitar. It's like an X. And he plays every neck.
Is this 1990?
Yeah, it's 1990.
This is on the backside of when it all was happening.
This is what Nirvana had to destroy.
Yeah, but I gotta say, watching him back now, it's fairly entertaining.
I mean, this man's hair is unfucking forgivable.
He did not need to switch guitars. He did not need to do that. That was superfluous.
The name of the band should be Ambidextrous.
Yes. It's like he has the legs around his neck like he's eating the guitar's pussy. And you know that's a go-to move.
That was where he came up with the idea for the guitar.
Have you ever seen the crucifixion of St. Andrew?
Yeah, it is a St. Andrew's cross.
I like how he has like an attachment on the back of the guitar that attaches to his codpiece so he can like swing it around and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's got the ZZ Top app on his belt.
They're all
like a wine glass with his range.
Yeah, I saw that.
They do all the bad metal moves.
And you know what? You know what's not in this video at all? Any audience.
They never found that.
They did have a crashing freight train.
Yes, I mean, there's a guy on vacation who looks at his wife and goes, "Yeah, that four stock guitar you were yelling at me about for 2 months, I paid for this. So shut up."
I spent many hours in my shop perfecting that.
Right, crafting away
that X-wing guitar.
Okay, so yeah, right, fine. If it was an X-wing guitar, I would be.
That'd be pretty sweet.
That would actually be the.
It looks like a damn X-wing when it's got the foils out and all that shit.
Yeah.
Why has there not been a legitimate Star Wars metal band? Think about that. Like,
I think the new trilogy kind of ruined that shit.
You think it could have happened?
Well, I think the problem was, like, metal was real popular in the 80s, and especially, like the later 80s, and that was sort of that period when Star Wars was going through its kind of passe and not old enough to be retro yet phase. Right. You remember that?
Absolutely.
Because remember the 10th anniversary of Star Wars came around to like nothing because nobody gave a shit in 1987 because you were only like 3 years away from Jedi and everybody was sick of that shit and it wasn't like before the nostalgia. So I think that's why there probably wasn't a better Star Wars metal band. But you think in the late 70s there would have been.
Totally, right? You would.
Kiss might have been the closest thing to that.
Yeah, well, they just had the disco album. That was it. They had
Kiss
Star Wars
you
disco.
know, Kiss fought the Phantom in the park and things like that. They were doing like.
Love that movie. Say what you will. I love that movie.
He's the one, all right. Almost tore my arm off.
Gene's clean.
A pussycat. Almost. Hi, Curly.
Look, someone vandalized our park last night, smashed some of our buildings and injured a few of our guards. Well, Gene, they think it was you.
Think. It was him.
Or his twin.
Gene's brother was an only child.
Easy, Catman. They are serious.
And they've got guns.
His brother was an only child.
I just love when Peter Criss would he just turn around and just be like,
Right.
Well, apparently, the Kiss gets their power, according to that movie, from talismans, if you remember.
Sure.
And at one point, they actually suggest that everybody has them. They just ain't discovered theirs yet. There's some kind of spiritual object out there that can give you Kiss-like power.
Yeah.
That's the important thing.
You too can be the chosen one if you decide you're the chosen one. That's what they've been telling us the whole time.
I wasn't exactly up to date on what happened to Ace Frehley. I knew he wasn't in the band anymore.
He has a new album out and it's really good.
Oh, it's about how Israel should be destroyed.
Why was he saying more anti-Semitic things?
Yeah, that's what happened to him.
With Paul Stanley of Kiss releasing his new book, Face the Music, he is perfectly honest and pulling no punches. Kiss split with original members Peter Criss and Ace Frehley once in the early 80s and again in the early 2000s. Paul has accused both of the former members of being anti-Semitic because he and Gene Simmons are Jews. We asked him if perhaps other outlets have taken it out of context.
Unfortunately, I can't say it's taken out of context.
No, I think he really might have just gotten thrown out of Kiss and decided, maybe this goes a little deeper than just Gene and Paul.
It would have taken him a long time, though, because he's been thrown out of Kiss multiple times. In fact, there was in the late 80s, it was cool to not be in Kiss anymore. I mean, they were doing, Hot in the Shade or some shit, and he would say, I ain't got nothing to do with that shit.
Hot in the Shade in 87. That's right.
But yeah, so that was just one of those where I was like, I wonder what Ace Frehley's up to. And then you look it up on Google and you're like, oh Jesus, he's on a lot of webcasts saying a bunch of shit he shouldn't.
Yeah, it's like a contest between him and Gene as to who can say the most like utterly offensive crap, you know?
Right, but Gene is saying it on NPR and Ace is saying it.
Is this something that's happened in the last couple of days that I'm not aware of?
No,
do I have to get my tattoo covered up?
No. Just in general, like this is one of those like because Ace Frehley has no public platform anymore.
Oh no. He
so he's just like in two kids' basements in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, just talking mad shit.
Sure.
Meanwhile, Gene,
that's the
Gene
power
and Ace
of the
have a football
internet.
team.
You can ruin your career from anywhere.
That's right.
You really can.
That's true. I mean, I will say my this goes in top 10 just all-time things is the Paul Stanley stage banter.
Oh, of course.
The 45 minutes of Paul Stanley. Whoever did it is a goddamn genius because they took out the crowd sounds.
Sure.
So it just sounds like an insane person in a room just going, all right, Toronto. My favorite thing is how stoked he gets for second market cities.
Of course.
So when he goes to New York, he'll go, New York, like that. But when he gets to Richmond,
sure,
holy shit, he's stoked. Richmond! He's so stoked to be in Richmond.
This is like the smallest crowd we played for. Doesn't mean you can't be the loudest.
Cleveland, Sacramento, all those like the smaller towns. He's all about it.
Richmond, we're here tonight, and let me hear you make some noise tonight. Last night we were in D.C. Boo. Well, you can boo any city you want, but you know what? Instead of booing that city, why don't you just show them how much louder you are? I want D.C. to be able to hear you, people.
Yeah. Well, with this change of the weather, some people might have a little rock and roll pneumonia.
And then he gets stuck on the thing in the middle of the audience, and they have to go get him.
My favorite is where he's like, I think it's about time to whip out my 6 gun of sex. My love gun.
Have y'all seen them?
All right, Quad Cities.
Yeah, that's right. Quad Cities.
We're gonna be the loudest thing in Dubuque, Iowa ever.
Dubuque.
Have you seen Kiss back in the day? With
Oh,
the
yeah.
original lineup and all that shit.
Sure.
Did you see them on like any of the notable tours? Like what is it?
No, I
Destroyer,
didn't
any
see
of
it.
that?
No, gosh, no, I didn't get to see them till Animalize.
Okay.
And then when they came back in '96 with the that's when we got back into the full makeup and all the original
Psycho
members.
Circus?
Psycho Circus, I think, was in '99 or 2000.
Oh, okay.
I saw that tour.
Yeah.
It was. I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
I had all the toys. I used to live in an apartment where everything was decorated with kid. Like this is like you have to like warn somebody before you invite them over. It was that level of collection. I had those dolls that were like 3 feet tall. That each one of them sang 2 songs, and I had them lined up.
The whole song?
Though it's a good toy, man.
Did the
You just press it and it just sits there singing "I Was Made for Loving You"
I
for
still
all
have
5 minutes.
I still have a toothbrush that does rock and roll all night for 2 minutes because that tells you how long you should be brushing your teeth for.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What shit did the songs like? Did they have individualized ones like the Peter Criss doll sang "Hooligan" or something?
Yes,
shit
he
like
actually
that?
did. Actually
I'm
did.
back in the New York groove.
Or we could sing "Rocket Ride," maybe.
Yeah.
or Shock
Wow.
Me.
I love that. You're pulling out deep
Oh, no,
tracks.
no, I gotta say, I do know my Kiss. You
Nice.
understand? I do know my Kiss. I don't know some of the other things we're talking about, but whenever we talk about Kiss, I know exactly what we're talking about.
This is all I want to do with my free time is talk about Kiss. This is all I want to do.
Well, I will admit my other favorite part of the and it's towards the end of the 45 minutes. By the way, if you haven't heard this,
So you've sat through and listened.
oh, dude, when it came out on a message board that my friend Matthew was a part of. It
Okay.
was my freshman year of college when I first heard it. It was like 2004. And we had just moved into our apartment, and he was like, "I've got 80 minutes of Paul Stanley yelling," and we were like, "Fuck yeah, put that shit on!" So we put it on. He burned it to a CD, put it on in the living room, and me and my 2 roommates sat there and were dying for like 80 minutes straight because it just gets funnier and funnier because he does riffs on a theme,
Sure.
but like just the random insane shit he would say. My favorite is where he goes, "Kiss Army, hoist your children on your shoulders." He kind of starts to sound by the end like he sounds like Edith Bunker.
Right, yeah.
Archie! It's got that same Long Island like shit going on. But yeah, he goes, "Hoist your children on your shoulders. This is the new Kiss Army."
Reading them.
See, that I haven't listened to that. That sounds amazing because my personal favorite hard rock centered YouTube thing is when they took the instrumental out of "Running with the Devil" and it's just Diamond Dave singing it.
Oh, by himself?
Yeah, and it's so hilarious.
Oh my god.
Oh! Oh, yes! Yeah, yeah!
The pauses are so good.
I live my life like there's no tomorrow. And all I've got, I had to steal. Least I don't need to beg or borrow. Yes, I'm living at a pace that kills. Ooh, yeah.
It literally sounds like an insane person. This is like the shit you would hear, like if you ever lived in an apartment that goes out to the street with like a busy sidewalk. This
Sure.
is like the shit you hear at 4 a.m. Just fucking.
When I jumped out on that road, I got no love you'd call real. Ain't got nobody waiting at home. God damn it, baby, no, I ain't lying to you. I'm only gonna tell you one time.
What a difference a fucking
He
backup
sounds like
track
he's doing
makes.
outtakes for the Jeffersons theme song.
I mean, what a difference a band makes. You know what I mean? Because I've heard that.
He does have to do something over like extensive instrumental parts. So what is he really gonna do?
Right. It's just funny because that is the take they went with. Like,
Right.
That's the real take. So it's something that we've all heard a million times.
You could do the same thing with a lot of bands. Like if you took Led Zeppelin and took everything out, it'd just be baby, 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 baby. It'd be the same kind of thing.
That's true.
You ever watch the Star Wars without Williams? Star Wars without Williams.
No, what? Oh, is it just? Oh yeah, with that where they took the music out.
They took the music out of the throne rooms or the thing at the end with the awards.
Yeah.
That shit kills me. I watched that like 4 times in a row once because the edible hadn't kicked in. And I was like, well, let's time this.
I'm a fan of metal, but I'm not a very deep fan. You know what I mean? I love Judas Priest.
Sure.
I'm just a simple man as far as metal goes. Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Motorhead, Sabbath.
See, at least you know that. Like you could ask me about other genres, I would have no idea.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's just I would say I'm a cursory fan of metal. You know.
I just found out who Bruno Mars was yesterday.
Oh really?
I'm kidding. I thought that show Veronica Mars and him. I thought they was related or some shit. Right? I'm not even making that shit up.
It's the sequel to Veronica Mars.
Yeah.
Bruno Mars. Yeah, no. Well, I'll tell you my thing with Bruno Mars. I always see it. He's on the Grammys every year, and he puts his hair up in like a James Brown pompadour, and he has like a horn section, and he dances. He looks fucking amazing, and the song's usually pretty good.
Okay,
and that's every year on the Grammys where I'm like, hell yeah. And then you hear the guy on the radio, and you're like, "This is fucking bullshit!" Like,
really?
What's the disconnect between this guy? Get a horn section.
A better live singer.
That's what I think. Yeah.
You know, a lot of the records today are dull anyway. They get so much auto tune, and they're just written by the same few people.
Yeah, exactly. He's actually one of those songwriters, though. That was his gig beforehand. So he wrote he's written a shitload of pop songs before he actually became an artist himself. Anyway, off topic. Point is, I'm a very easy man to please as far as metal goes. So Judas Priest is always that's the first band that I ever got super duper into as far as metal goes.
Maiden. I fell in love with the art on all Maiden records.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
The posters was everywhere back in the day. My cousins said you go to Thanksgiving and there was like a basement where they'd have like bumper pool table and shit, and they had all the posters like Aces High and all that shit, and the Trooper and everything like that.
Hell yeah.
I think the posters probably sold more of them records than anything else did.
Yeah, the cover. The covers.
Have you ever been in a house with a bumper pool table where cocaine wasn't being done?
Well, this was one of them because they wasn't that old, and this wasn't California.
I like you. I'm a big fan of the new wave of British heavy metal bands.
Sure.
So I really like Saxon.
Saxon, you're gonna go Saxon.
Yeah,
That's
I like
awesome.
Saxon. I like Tigers of Pantang and Motorhead. I'm a big Motorhead fan. I've seen them a few times and always great. And Lemmy's about 70 now.
Yes,
and he knows it's very judo. It's like he knows the path of least resistance to having an awesome show. He doesn't move very much, but he knows what the right step to the side is, the right point to lift the neck of his bass, and they're really good. I enjoyed them thoroughly. They were like the first metal band that I got into was Motorhead, because I got into metal very late.
I couldn't imagine being in my 70s and still playing.
Yeah.
Think about how I feel right now at 43. I couldn't tack on another 27 and then go out and let it happen.
Yeah.
I'd be like if I tried to go play baseball now, it would feel like a 7-year-old rocker then.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm 28 and I have trouble walking the damn dogs down the street.
And yeah.
What about you, Goodnight?
Well, don't forget, I come from a land where we consider Jerry Reed metal. So, I mean, what do you consider metal? Because elsewise, I'd probably have to say like Black Sabbath or something like that. No, actually, no. I enjoy like Kissiana, if that's the way to put it. Kiss Dumb, the characters and the weird history and all that stuff. But as far as their music goes, I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of it.
So you like the kayfabe, not the shoot.
I like the kayfabe. I like the act, and so
Yeah.
I enjoy watching things like their old TV performances and like Phantom of the Park and all that, but like their records, like Love Gun in particular, I didn't think was a very good record. Alive is good because they was a good live band and all that, but
Yeah.
I'm not actually a big fan of their records or anything like that.
Or if you want to watch a funny, if you want to go like kabuki theater side of Kiss, there's that, they do that one late night interview where Ace is just drunk off his ass and Gene is visibly angry about it.
Oh yeah, but what's his name loves it? Tom Schneider.
Yeah, Tom Schneider. That's right. Look up Kiss Tom Schneider if you want to laugh your ass. I have always thought that was great.
I loved the one when they were on the Mike Douglas show and they were
Oh,
playing
the woman-
Firehouse and they had like the fire engine behind.
Oh no! First of all, the concert, the live performance of that is just outright badass. And then the woman comes on and says to Gene Simmons, "What if there was a nice Jewish boy under that thing?" And Gene Simmons says, "Oh, Bob, but that you knew," or something. She goes, "I did know. You can't hide the hook." Remember that shit? That was the Mike Douglas appearance.
Yeah, well, there was the one where his mom came on too.
His mom?
Yeah, his mom comes on.
I don't remember that. That wasn't on Tom Schneider. Or
No, this was. I think this was on Dick Cavett or Mike Douglas or something. Like his mom comes on, and so it's like he's in the full makeup, and they bring his mom on from, who lived nearby, and she's like this. I think he's from Israel, but I think she was from like I think she's from like Hungary or Russia or something like that. And she's just like looks so embarrassed, but he's like totally into it.
Why don't we have afternoon entertainment style programming like that? Why is that not a thing?
Commercials, maybe. It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just health shit. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna have a new up and coming band playing in the afternoon.
Well, what they should
they
do.
have that Jerry Springer kind of shit.
Well, no, what I was gonna say is they should have the newest whatever the hot new band is should be on Judge Judy. that then work it in there.
Or Steve Wilkos,
Right.
Well,
Parquet courts on Maury or something.
The thing, though, that made that shit so fun in the 70s is just because it was a generational thing, because you still had, like, TV was still mostly made for older people back then, because this is the good old days, and so you'd have, like, big band leaders and stuff like Mike Douglas hosting a late-night show, but he'd have to have contemporary acts like Kiss on it,
right?
Which made it so much fun.
Have you ever seen the Dinah Shore show performance with Iggy Pop?
No.
It's hilarious. Iggy Pop's playing Dinah Shore, and it's just like, it's like that early 77 stuff, so when he was doing with Bowie.
Yeah.
So Bowie's playing the organ, and Iggy Pop's just like shirtless, just like writhing around, and then he gets interviewed afterwards about like cutting himself on stage and whatnot. And there's this older lady, and she's just like, "That's just the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my entire life." And he's like, "Yeah, I just did something bad yesterday."
Well, see, that's what's fun about TV and even life back then. Back then you had like grown-ups. Nowadays, grown-ups is just like older kids and stuff like that.
Well,
it's true.
It's like I love is it Dick Cavett where he has Jimi Hendrix on, but he has Hendrix playing. He has Hendrix playing with his in-studio band.
Oh,
so it's
God.
not the experience. So they're just playing just the chords, just really straightforward, and then Jimi Hendrix, of course, is being fucking Jimi Hendrix.
Say something about that. So he tries to interview Jimi Hendrix, and I respect the shit out of Dick Cavett because unlike today's TV hosts, he'd actually do research and try to get a meaningful conversation out of them. But Jimi Hendrix, when having to actually talk and not play guitar, gets all, "Oh, let me tell you something, Dada." He's got this English accent because he'd been in England for about a year and a half. And the bad gypsy.
He's lighting his notes on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had Madonna syndrome. He went to England for a year, and then he thinks he's British.
Yeah, he does, and it's like, and he's all trying to be bitching. It's like, fuck you, Jimi Hendrix. You're not even articulate enough to fucking talk without your goddamn guitar, and you'll be dead in like a year and a half. I say, hail Dick Cavett, you understand? Gave us all those wonderful interviews. Thank you, Dick. And I'll never forget the commercials you did with McGruff the Crime Dog. What's Jimi Hendrix got on that? I don't think so. No,
I think Hendrix was like notoriously shy around people. It was.
Well, all these so-called great rock stars can't talk to save their ass. There's no good. Janis Joplin's another one. It's like, I'm a bit afraid to be talking out here. Who's that actress you had out on it before me? Raquel Welch. She's pretty. Shit like that, and all these rock stars cannot talk. That's why when they have to talk in between songs on stage, they have nothing to say.
All right.
Mick Jagger talks about one thing in between songs. Everybody remembers my trousers are going to fall down, but listen to any other Mick Jagger in between songs. And so it's, I didn't go to snow raining. It's not raining here tonight. He just talks about the weather the entire fucking time.
That's the best job in the world. Talk about the weather and get pussy.
They should make Mick Jagger the weatherman.
Man or something like that. Yeah, like Ron Burgundy or something like that.
It's probably gotta be right in there.
Who would have to be who would have to be the weatherman for you to watch every day and look forward to it?
Dave Brown, the weatherman from Channel 5 in Memphis.
Oh.
Because he was a wrestling announcer for like 30 years.
Oh, is that right?
And a damn good one.
The snow's coming through the table.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's a blizzard.
No, he was like the old school. He was like, coming up next, we have from 225-pound Macho Man Randy Savage in the studio today. He had that calm kind of announcer voice like wrestling announcers had back then. But he was the secondary backup guy behind Lance Russell.
Lance Russell would just be like, well, let me
Lance
tell
Russell was
you
like a
guys
grandfather. So,
something.
well, it's going to be a tough one this week at the Mid-South Coliseum, and I'll tell you that for a living fact, Davey.
I think the craziest he ever got was just like, Terry Funk, stop cursing on television.
No, look, Terry. No, he was like, you can't say that. We can't use that if you're going to be swearing, Terry. But the point is, he was a wrestling announcer for like 30 years on TV, and a damn good one. He was better than any of the ones today, and he's mainly just a weatherman. He's still like the most famous weatherman in Memphis.
I mean, I think if Paul Stanley did it, hoist your umbrellas!
Paul Stanley definitely had some flow, because when you hear him like kind of preach a little bit, it's pretty good. What I would like is when they had Chris. And Chris,
he kind of has this little voice.
Chris would kind of have that
just
like
a lovely Long Island guy.
Jazz drummer thing going. Remember this? And sometimes he put a little bit of like a bump and grind, like a stripper thing into it, and Paul Stanley would do a little bit of that walk and all that shit. It was good shit. It was good shit. Star Child, you understand? He looked like he was from Godspell or some shit. But he was cool, that was fucking what's his name? Paul Stanley.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me in the Sweat Hogs, so I had to join Kiss. Freddie Boom Boom Washington had it in for me. Paul Stanley is the voice of my conscience. It's the truth. Just a conversation that I had with my girlfriend, and I was bragging about doing the towels. And I was like, I see those towels over there. I folded them. I was like, you see that? She goes, why? I go, you know why I did that? She goes, because Paul Stanley told you to. And I go, yeah. And I swear to God, I looked around the house and it was like, you better start pulling your weight, motherfucker. That's just the thought. That's where I'm at right now.
I'd like to take a little taste of alcohol.
I want to know if we got any people here tonight that like to get high. We got any people tonight that are high? Just concentrate, look me in the eyes. Rise up, let's get my turn to face. So right, punch the back of my neck. But nothing has more than looking at you.
What's the best name for a metal band?
Oh,
I'll tell you, mine is a vegan hardcore band called Cattle Decapitation.
Sure.
From
Cattle Decap. They're from
San Diego.
Yeah,
that's right. And the lyric I remember, because they're one of those bands where it's like, oh, you can't understand what they're actually saying, but they have all their lyrics in the book. And one of the lyrics was, the whole thing is, since they're a vegan, they're like a militant vegan band, all their songs are about eating people the way that we eat animals. And one of their lyrics was, your face, a quiche of human giblets.
Yeah, but made with no eggs nor butter and nothing like that, because it's going to be a proper vegan cannibalism.
Human butter just sounds really
that's
kind
disgusting.
of horrifying.
But I had one. Feces Pieces.
Oh my God!
A for real band. It was like a speed metal band in Boston in the 90s. A friend of mine was in them.
Dude,
yeah, look them up. They was good.
That's amazing. Oh my God!
I'm still trying to rack my brain around the best heavy metal band name.
Or the funniest. The other one I thought of was Corn on Macabre. Thought that was great.
Okay, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Yep.
I don't know. I guess. I mean, anal cunt's a big.
There we go.
Is an easy go-to.
Yep.
Seth Putnam and the boys.
where can people find you on the internet, sir?
JohnTole.com, Facebook and Twitter at John Tole, JohnTole, Instagram, Real John Tole.
And go see this man live. He's a very funny dude. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/TheGoodsPod, on Twitter at TheGoodsPod. And if you are going to be in the Birmingham metropolitan area on December 23rd, come to Yellowhammered. We're bringing our very popular LA backyard show to Alabama, bringing it back home, sweet home. So come see us on December 23rd. Mr. Goodnight will be there. I'll be there. Pat will be there in spirit.
As many of the ladies as possible will be there.
That's right. Yeah. So bring the women down.
The house with the women. I'm not kidding y'all. I'm really looking forward to that.
If it's a sausage party, Goodnight will be upset.
Yeah, I'll go the fuck back. I'll go back to Augusta or some shit. I won't go on. I'll be like Axl Rose. I'll be like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Y'all can listen to Izzy Stradlin or something.
I'll be the Metallica. I'll have to pick up the pieces and then I'll fall into a pillar of fire.
Yeah, hopefully you'll light yourself on fire.
Oh, no.
But yeah, so come see us in Birmingham on the 23rd.
At the Bottle Tree.
And I'm closing the show out with the best damn metal band in Lee County. This is Hamadivore.
The Goods from the Woods is mixed and edited by me, Rivers Langley, and distributed by Westcast Network. Our theme song is composed by DJ Smiles. You can find him online at djsmiles.net.